Yo, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that wall. Um, man, just when I was telling people, hey, hang on, market will heat up soon. I even said, hey, I think it will be this week. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. There's no denying it now. There's no question that what we saw today was some hot stuff. Now, if you didn't do well today, don't beat yourself up. There is way too much. A lot of people are struggling in trading, and I've been there and I am there, thinking about other traders, thinking about where they could have been in best case scenarios. I could have been up this amount. I could have, if I wouldn't have had that drawdown in October, I could have been up making new highs. And there's this negative ethos. Jack's question to the group, well, I would love to know why I'm doing differently than Farmer in Heaven, an anomaly. And other people. And the best person to answer that question would be you. And I'm not trying to be mean, but that's something I've heard a lot of people say. They record their trading session and then they see my recorded session and they play them simultaneously. They time match them. You get how that works? You put up your stream, you put up my stream, you sit down and you do film. It sucks. But you look, what entries are you taking? What entries am I taking? Do that day in and day out. Now I take a lot of trades, so not every trade I take has a clear pattern, or it's not quite, it's a little bit why is he taking a trade there? So don't hear me as just copy every trade that Farmer does. That's impossible. You're not going to be able to be an exact copy of me. But today, what we saw was some parabolic action. What we saw were the dips getting bought up. Belair has been asking, okay, he wants an example of what do you mean by the dips being bought up? And, just look at this price action, even though it's not as good as before, what we're seeing is price doing big drops. And then as it drops hard, it slingshots back quickly and then starts grinding and coming back. And that's the theme here. We also saw it with NIVF, where the thing would do micro dips within green candles as well as pullbacks, which can be considered a dip. But a pullback I consider like a pullback. A dip is something, it means a lot of things. It means the price was up here and it went down at some level, either a big dip, small dip, micro dips. It's a broad term for saying buying red on the tape. My most viewed video is the time and sales video. Okay, that's the crux of the 50-50 micro scalping, hyper scalping style, is those dips with those market orders. Some people are trying to overcomplicate it with limit orders, guys. The 50-50 is market orders almost primarily, with the special times. Sometimes it's nice to use a limit. Again, everybody's gonna be a little bit different. How'd you guys do today? So here, let me be full disclosure on this while we have 9 likes. What I did to make this 12,000 was I broke the rules. I shut down, and I was very hell bent on staying shut down because it's one of my main rules. And it's a rule that I do follow 95% of the time. I did log back on, and it just so happened that today was the day things connected. I didn't expect it. But this run from 2 to 328. Now, what would happen with this one is, again, there's a lot more to knowing. Listen to this. Blair was asking, people were asking, how do I know when a stock is going to continue up higher? How do you know? How can you find that one that you hyperscalp? And it's not just one answer. It starts with finding the right stocks. It starts with gauging the strength of the market. What's the vibe of the low float market? Okay, those are two. You got to find the right stocks. You got to gauge the market. That's going to help form your first kind of base for how you are going to interpret data coming in. Now, coming into today, we were unexpectedly surprised by how big drug went off. But you bet coming into tomorrow, I don't think it's going to be a slow day. But I also do believe it's going to be possibly a dangerous day tomorrow. After big moves like we've had today, NIV, whether or not you did well or not, I'm telling you, the market did well. The low float market did well. That's how you interpret this. I know maybe you guys maybe messed up. I've been there. It's not hard to have been stuck in a bad flush on this. So again, today I want my students to watch the Avoiding Flushes classes. The Avoiding Flush class. And consider that, especially coming into tomorrow where we're going to want to have FOMO and maybe a stock breaks to the apex point and we want to get rolling on it for the rip dip within the rip, hyper scalping, in and out, smooth as butter. Just be careful. Oh, Blair's here. So, I mean, here's an example here how NIVF, and this is your homework. Okay, guys, here's your homework. If you don't have a recording of my trading, if you're not signed up for the archives, that's fine. Review your own recording. You should be recording all your trades. I think I'm gotten to the point now where I'm just recommending everybody who's serious about this, they need to record their trading session and rewatch it. And I'm not doing that as a waste your time. I think that's really valuable to do that. But come back and look. Today was a great example of stocks that dipped in price and then would rebound quickly. We're seeing it on NIVF. Look at these bottoming wicks. Bottoming wick. We're seeing what we're seeing here on this chart is really almost more bottoming tails than topping tails. We're really the bottoming tails are leading to big moves up, whereas topping tails, if we do get them in a big way, they lead to very slow down. So it's just one of those days where if you watch, and I do watch mainly the level 2, the answer, Blair. A dip is something where we actually see the price basically go on sale momentarily. Okay. And that's where we like to get entries. But wait, it's not as easy as that. Again, this is already taken into account. You found the right stock. You're trading a low flow gapper. This is assuming you understand how to gauge the strength of the market and adjust based off of it. And in some ways, every day is a little different. But there are themes that prevail through seasons, as we call. Right now, we just got out of a very slow season. So if you're not making money, take this as a time to learn. Guess what happened? Slow. 1 week, 2 week, 3 weeks, slow. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, a stock goes to the moon. Right? This is what I would consider the end of that slow season. And it will be at least momentarily. We might just have momentum for the rest of this week, and then things might die off again for the election. So, but whatever the case is, the chapter of the previous slow period is over. Or at least momentarily, because coming into tomorrow, we should see more heat, I think. We should see more heat. Could be choppy. But anyways, I want to try to watch, and maybe which one would be better? They're all kind of low volume. But replay a lot of these breakouts. Replay the breakout on NIVF. I should have recorded it for you guys. But what was the theme? Pop, dip, pop bigger. It would do it in the micros, and then it would do it in the macro moves, right? You got to kind of, while you're trading, ask yourself, are you getting into a macro pattern or a micro pattern? You know, ask yourself, are you in a potential for a big breakout, or are you more in just the area of consolidation where it's more likely that you're just going to get small pops? That's going to also help you gauge what dips you hold through, what dips you don't hold through. Again, this is this is deep psychological stuff that at the end of the day you can't put into words. You have to just put into practice and get your brain, because there's who knows how many neurons are firing at each second. There's such a variability to get to put into words what I'm seeing and everything. It's like I just got to show you, and you got to practice. That's why the live archives are pretty valuable, and why I keep them to members only. Also, because they're paying. So that's my 2 recommendations, guys. Okay, if you don't take anything, here's to recap the video, and then we're gonna go into Q&A. Market just heated up today out of nowhere. I do expect there to be some residual heat. That doesn't mean it's going to be easy patterns. It doesn't mean there's going to be no flushes. I bet you tomorrow there's going to be some nasty flushes. I think tomorrow we're going to at least see 1 or 2 really nasty flushes. And I bet you out of 1 or 2 of those nasty flushes, I'm probably not going to get stuck in them. Let me be cocky. I'll be cocky. I probably won't get stuck in them. You know why? Because the stuff I teach in Trading Farmer Plus, the 30 hours of videos that you guys are just not watching, because you're just not watching them, because I talk about the areas where I avoid to take trades because they're high risk of flushes. And there's not a complicated formula behind it, but there is certain things that I teach that they're non-negotiable as far as learning this career, like me, I guess, if you want to copy the 50-50. So be careful of that. Okay, so the market's changing. Second, the update is I obviously am finishing higher than where I was. What I'm going to do and remind me, because today's recording is statistically unique. It's a unique kind of day. It's the kind of day that is, I've seen it before. Write it down, learn from it. Slow market. I'm begging people to slow down and be careful. They kind of do, but then they basically lose a lot of money. Right? There's some people they can't even they just are routinely breaking their max loss and snowballing, and it makes you wonder. It makes me worried if that sort of behavior is not, if, it may take time to fix it, but it's like how much we don't have much more money to lose. But anyway, 12,000. So I want to put the recording, and actually, now that I think of it, most of the recording doesn't exist. I didn't record. I broke my rules. I logged back on. Again, we have 15 likes. Let me know, guys. Everyone type in who's listening. How did you guys do today? Actually, should I do a poll? If you're good at typing, then get typing. If you're bad at typing, then get liking. The poll that I'm going to conduct here. Okay, this poll is sponsored by TradingView. I want specifically to know, are you red or green on drug specifically? Because I can tell you this much. If you did not like drug, there were some other options today. Some of them came later in the day, though. NIVF, I was red on that. And I didn't think it was worth my time. Once it got towards, really, I got aggressive on the break it too, because I was like, that's significant. We were in the $1 range all day. What we kept seeing is dips being bought up quite consistently. So that gave us kind of our first idea of strength. But when it broke too on this pullback here, I think this is where I started to hit it hard on this run up here. Anyways, now I'm tempted to keep trading. This is where a young buck may consider trading more. In my case, I'm going to practice discipline live for you guys. I really want to take a trade, but I'm not gonna. I think things are done. I think it's over. Maybe power hour or something, but so the recording isn't going to be complete. But I want you guys to do that. I think that's what I'm requesting. I want you guys to record your trading and also rewatch my trading. This is going to take time. It's going to take about at least a half hour to 40 minutes a day just to do this class time. Do that, watch, and make 3 notes of what you notice. Just what you notice, where you think it went wrong. Are you buying late a lot? Are you holding too long a lot? Today's recording will be especially interesting to watch. To see how you basically had to, in today's scenario, you had to switch from slow trading style to hot trading style. Almost kind of out of the blue, but once drug went straight up, back what seems like 2 years ago, basically, right, guys, I bought 7,000 shares expecting there to be some buying pressure down here. I saw this. I saw a bottoming tail. I saw a rough outline of a backside W is what we call them. Backside or bottom W. And I was expecting this. I thought, and this is where I was trying to make my money in here. I did not expect this. 7,000 shares. Why is it that Charles Schwab couldn't have been broken? Why couldn't I got in 7,000 shares? Why couldn't Charles Schwab glitch and break there? Why doesn't Charles Schwab decide to glitch and break every time the stock's about to flush? It makes you think. But anyways, too bad it didn't, because had I had the 7,000 shares in here at 4 and was logged out from trading, I can tell you the amount of money I could have made today is what dreams are made of. I think it's a sin. I think it's a sin to think about the money you could theoretically make, because in theory, You're just not going to get that money. Okay. Anyway, back to you guys. BZ drug was red. Okay. Nuclear trading. I did bad today, not aggressive enough because I didn't trust things. That's understandable, nuclear. But I think coming into tomorrow, we got to trust things a little bit more, especially early in the day. We got to trust them, but then we got to quickly back off. I don't think tomorrow's going to be as hot as today. But nuclear, that's the same thing with me on drug. I didn't take the risk because I thought it was too much. And the initial move to 17 was crazy. What about 17 to 31? Probably potentially curl back up. I'm tempted to jump on this thing. Jack, I don't really. No, I don't. I guess in short, I've thought about it. I think I could do it. But the reality is the broker that I love, the broker that I'm just two peas in a pot with, is not really good at shorting from what I understand. So, sure. I'm taking 450 shares here. Oh, see, that sums it up. As soon as I get in, oh, I made some good money on that. See, even so, here's the thing with this drug, and this trade just made me realize it. Some of you guys are not understanding that these big spread stocks, these high risk stocks, you got to really dial that share size back. Right? So I got people using 50 share sizing. They're using 50 share sizing on $3 stocks all the time. And they run into a stock like drug and they start whipping around 50 shares. And then they're wondering how they just had a statistical outlier where they just lost so much money. It's because you need to split that 50 and take it to like 10 to make your risk. There's some trade, like I think that's Mike's problem is he's not watching how his share size. He's not watching his share size. It's too, and what gets him every single time is a stock with big spreads. It's like, how much longer are we going to do this until you figure out that, first of all, you're still learning to trade, so that already puts your risk up high. Second, you're using way more risk on these types of stocks, which you're also not good at, and then you spin out of control. So here's an example of me buying a dip, hoping for a rebound. We'll see if we get it. I got to get out. Didn't go. Okay. That's the crux of the 50-50 right there. That's what I'm teaching. That's what RT learned. That's what that's what we're all doing. It doesn't take a genius to do it, but it does take someone willing to put in the work to listen to their rules. Like that's stuff that it's like you got to get serious about it. Because the concepts aren't complicated, but putting them into practice in the long run, right? I've seen people, they do good for 2 weeks and then they fall apart. They do good for 2 weeks, and next thing you know, they're like, I got it. And then they just show up the next day throwing stuff around like crazy, and then they get smacked down, and then they go in these high highs and these low lows. You got to just get back to how this works. You show up every day. Your expectations for the day are what? You're a trading farmer student. When it comes to what helped me break to the next level? I set the bar what? My expectations were what? Expectations were what? Does anybody know? I was able to start learning to trade, and I started to trade better when I set the bar. Come on, somebody type it in. Okay, Squid's got it. Squid's got it. I set the bar low. That was the answer I was looking for. So that's the whole premise to the strategy is you set the bar so freaking low every day. This is psychology, right? You know, yes, everyone's in a different spot. Some of you guys just need to go in and watch my live archive and actually see how I'm trading. Let me hint. I'm looking at the strongest stocks in the market. That's step one. I'm looking at the daily chart, drawing bias. I'm taking a gauge of the market. That's all. So even before I'm in a trade, even before I start the day trade, I'm already deciding in my head, okay, how much am I going to hold stocks? How long am I going to trade? How much share size am I going to use? That's all decided before the bell rings. And then as the day goes on, especially if I'm not sure about the status of the market, for right now, like we're in a transitionary period. This is too complex for some, but yeah, I lost my train of thought. We got 24 likes, guys. I appreciate it. I don't think my students are doing that bad. But what I do know is a lot of people have been doing bad because the market was slow for 2 to 3 weeks. My main goal was, and we'll see in the long run, how keeping losses tight in the drawdown pays off in the future. Hopefully it keeps a lot of people in the race. So Blair's question, here's my question. I'm in a 1K drawdown. Here's my question. I'm in a 1K drawdown. When can I size back up to my normal size again? Okay. I don't know if you adjusted your share sizes. When I say size down, it doesn't necessarily mean you change these numbers. It can just mean instead of using more so the 27, you're using more so the 9. Right? And then some days you go for the 27. Some trades when you feel confident to go up. I would say now with the market heating up, there is a chance that sizing up now would be the right call. But again, make sure you're understanding the price action. And that's the whole point of starting small. Again, this market was tricky because starting small on drug, especially later on as it went parabolic, starting small was actually using 450 shares. In some cases, actually using 250. So to answer your question, Blair, there's no set rule for that. Now, again, tomorrow I do think things are going to be choppy. So let's see what they're saying. I got to see what you guys have to say. Oh, Bob, welcome, Bob Ross. Like, I don't want to shove rules and parameters to say, okay, you need 2 to 3 good days before you size up, because it's more so, okay, now we're seeing the heat back in the market, Blair. And this comes back to what I've been saying, guys. Hey, guys, the slow season has ended. We're coming into a new season. That to you, Blair, is saying, okay, at least we're seeing signs that the market's heating up, right? Farmer had a 12.6 day. Like other traders had made all this money. There's more moment. Like you see the difference from today. So in a way, it's like you're kind of got the green light to size up, but that doesn't mean to me sizing up is like just maybe more so using 27 shares or 45. It's not necessarily when I size down or when I go to defensive trade, I'm not going up here and changing the increments here greatly. Part of sizing down, I should also say, is also just trading less in higher quality setups. My recommendation, start watching that 5-minute chart. Start watching the clock. Yeah, Blair, and this is day one of the big season change. Usually what happens is tomorrow is probably going to be pretty wild. We're going to get some halts up. But we're also going to see some halt downs tomorrow for sure. So tomorrow's like if tomorrow you come in with all this FOMO, with all this greed, and you're thinking we're going to see stocks like drug, we're going to see something like drug. But I can guarantee you, the second time around, right? The second time a stock goes parabolic, it's not going to be as great as drug. Everything now at like this is like our initial high, and now everything else is usually speaking like a lower high. So it's just something to consider. Again, notice how many orders, 551 orders today. That's on the higher end. But there's so many trades where look at my recording, there's so many trades that I'm getting in and I'm getting right back out, and some trades I'm holding longer, some trades what the common denominator is quick execution. Quick execution, whether it's a winning trade, losing trade or not. If you're struggling with getting caught in big stuff and big flushes and it's maybe because you're just trying to hold trades too long. You're trying to trade a little bit like me, which is sometimes holding trades longer when you need to just go back to literally buy, especially in this market, and sell. So coming into John, how many students do I have? I have quite a few. Um, and some silent ones, some that were vocal in the past and now have run off to do their own thing and whatnot. But I'm just seeing Heaven with a D coming in with the P&L here. He's up almost 11,000. So Blair, for you, if Blair is still here, I want you to start pushing the limits a little bit now that we're starting to see a little bit better action. When you understand, when you're actually taking like a trade with good risk, right? Not something that's like, I don't want you sizing up when it's a halt resumption trade or when stocks are going straight up. Don't size up there. In a way, it's not like you have to take any big share sizes, but this is something where it's like, okay, we're seeing some heat. We know you're a good trader, right? The market just was through a slow period and a lot of people struggled, right? How much money did RT make in September? How much money did some of my former students make that, ended class early? How did they do in September? Things are heating up now in October. So the point is, the market's been tricky. And I'm trying to say that to a lot of people who've been struggling. Because even experienced traders who are big on the 50-50 have gone through a slow patch here. All right. I've mastered the 50-50 and I've been there and I've done that. I've also evolved and learned how to trade the slower markets. And I'm not sure if everyone's going to follow me there. Some I've seen. And I've seen, and I keep tabs on other traders in the community. I keep tabs on RT. I've watched him since the start of the time he's watching me. I've seen his trading evolve. From when I first found him, it was complete garbage. And when he first started watching me, that's why he deleted all those videos. You go to the past, I think I'd have to look. But anyway, so the question is, now we're getting into the market where we're going to be back into that quicker scope scalping. And it's not going to be so much pattern based, is my guess. And I'm telling you, like, especially when learning this strategy, again, we're looking for those dips and pullbacks. Sometimes a dip within a pullback, right? Because we're always trying to get the lowest price possible. We're trying to be ahead of the move, both the macro and the micro moves. You're trying to be ahead. And to be ahead in the market, you have to buy when everyone's selling, right? Warren Buffett wasn't kidding when they said buy fear, sell greed. In the micro sense, that's what we're doing. We're buying fear, selling greed. One trade in, one trade out, get in, get out quick. Watch the classes on avoiding flushes. Watch the classes on pivots. I would say those are two classes to rewatch. Right? Come in tomorrow with what expectation? We're going to set the bar what? Low. We're not setting the bar negative. We're not showing up tomorrow saying, oh, yeah, we're for sure going to lose money. No, we're not going that deep. We're just coming in tomorrow and we're going to say, hey, especially for some of you traders in drawdowns, just say, hey, I need a reset. Like I am not thinking with positivity, and that bad energy is not going to help. I need to just show up today, be very careful, be selective with my trades, execute the trades, be quick, make sure my share size is correct, right? Because everybody's got a different problem. And for people to come and say, show me their stats and be like, hey, how do I fix this? And the answer is, I don't know. Show me a recording. What do you think you need to work on? How, when you watch my recordings, what's different from my trades than your trades? What's the description? Take the recording of your recording up to mine, up to my archives, and see. With the knowledge that there's a lot of subjectivity in trading. Some trades I will take, you shouldn't take. It could be the same pattern. We trade the same pattern, but I'm not going to take that pattern because my vibe is off. Right. And this comes full circle because this is why it's so dangerous to compare yourself to other traders. You get into this thing of like, oh, I should be performing like this. And then that pressure makes you mess up even more. Then you're in this negative thought cycle where you're trying to get out of a drawdown quicker. Everything can tumble so fast. That's why it's like every day you show up, you set the bar low, stay super risk averse. That's the essence of the strategy. That's the essence of who I am. I can't even stand holding a stock for more than like 3 seconds. I can't stand it. I can't stand having a stop order placed. Have I ever lost and like forgot how to trade? Yeah. And what it results in is what some of you traders are going through, which is basically a badge of honor, right? We keep Blair going, we keep Mike going, we keep BZ going, we keep Jack going. We just keep them, alive, and getting them on a good rhythm. Because some of these drawdowns, they can last a month. Sometimes what you have to do is just forget the drawdown exists, and that's usually the best choice, where you just got to focus on getting that $1 a day. Literally $1. So when I lost 15 grand in July of 2021, this was even after I made about 200 grand. I went through a period where I lost 15 grand, and I never got out of that drawdown for over a month. Like, it sucks. Like, I don't know how else to tell you. You're going to go through, look at any trader, even look at Ross. You go back and look at some of the tough times he went through emotionally. So it's not that like, oh, Blair went through a drawdown, he's a bad trader. No, that hasn't decided. He's still a good trader. He's actually been doing really well, keeping it tight. He will prove and solidify he's a good trader when he keeps things consistent. He keeps things tight. He gets back focused. He forgets about the competition, and he pulls out of that drawdown. That's this drawdown's not an issue. It only becomes an issue if he gives in, and we can't allow that. So if Blair has to squeak by for the rest of October making $20 a day, I think then that's it. Like, but things will improve, and if worst case, we'll just start at zero. We say forget your metrics, forget the drawdown. Like, literally, we don't have time to care about that. It is what it is. Forget the drawdown. We're going to come into Wednesday. Market's a little bit hotter. We're going to look at the gap scanner. We're going to see the price of the stock. We're going to be thinking, okay, this is probably how it's going to move. We're going to be watching our share size. And if we have to split our share size manually by hand to split it to be smaller, which I had to do on drug, because the spreads are just that big. Patterns are the same, but the spreads are different. The range of the stock, which it's a good thing and a bad thing. So I don't know. Someone made the content. Why are my students doing so bad? I don't think they're doing bad, and I think a lot of students are doing well. Mind you, some of my first students are RT, Marcelo, Triad, and that whole community in itself. And as far as I'm concerned, they're doing great. So are my students doing bad? No. They're hanging together. Some of my younger, newer traders, a little bit of drawdown here, but what I'm saying is it's fine. And we don't know if the market's going to heat up here. It may or may not. Yeah, Marcelo made 18K. And he's the type that will get more aggressive on those breakouts. He's more, let's just say this, I'm more conservative. But if we went back and we looked at how he was trading and we looked at mine, we'd be like, yeah, it looks similar. Now, when it went parabolic, I'm sure that's where, I wouldn't be surprised, that's where we see him do the halt resumption trades. Trades that because of what I'm talking about, I'm more conservative, I stayed out of. So in some ways, drug is a good thing. It's high risk, high reward. Right. And you can't force the daily day trade. The difference between a dollar and 1,000, it's not a whole lot. Right. A lot of trades on drug, I was taking 450 shares to 900 shares. And that's what I'm saying. Um, I don't know what Marcelo did, but I'm guessing if you would look at his things, the trades are similar, basically the same, right? Same strategy. Marcelo was like my first student, straight up. And there ain't nothing he can say about it. But what you'll probably see is he was maybe using 2,000. So what's the difference between me making 7,000 and say Marcelo making 18? Well, maybe he was using double the share size, triple the share size. The technique is the same. To answer your question, don't allow that to get into your head that, like, if you can make $1 a day, you can make 1,000 a day. That would be probably a little dangerous. So, anyways, 7,000 on drug, 4,000 on NIF, 1,000 on fund. So finishing at 12.6. We'll see. This is a very good sign. I think tomorrow is still going to be choppy. I think we got to be careful tomorrow. If intuition serves me right, tomorrow is a big risk for some big red losses. It's usually how it works. But again, don't just add it to the don't take it as, okay, farmer says it's gonna be choppy. Okay, I'm gonna just be scared and not trade. No, it's just keep it in the back of your mind. Every day I'm guessing there's gonna be some good opportunities tomorrow. If you can get ahead of them, you can think ahead of them, you can identify the opportunity, manage your risk. Small size. And in a year from now, for those that stick around and don't get so bent out of shape in the short term, a year from now, some of you guys can be killing it. And I'm here to facilitate. I've seen it. Now, a lot of traders that I see that are going big now, they were traders with already experience. And so the ones that were already had experience and were exposed to 50, 50 and 22 and 23, they're the ones that are hitting it big now, right? Some of you guys are starting 2 weeks brand new into trading. You don't have that formal education. It's going to take longer. But I'm thinking 2-3 years from now, hopefully no edge erosion, but there's going to be a lot more day traders in the future. So 92 votes. Here we go. 92 votes. 74% green on drug. Yeah, I have online classes on the Trading Farmer. 2 years access. So that way, when we add stuff to the courses throughout the months, and I plan to be doing more classes with students and recording that. So hopefully we'll see. I think it's going to be a good thing to learn from. Yeah. But anyways, 12.6 was able to bring a little bit extra in. And I'm going to take that 12.6. I think I picked up $400 on the stream here, just small size. Literally 450 shares on drug, and I made, a dollar. I made $400, almost like that. And the stock barely moved in my favor. So there was, for those that jumped on board and were willing to pull the trigger, the money came in quick. There wasn't a whole lot of, over analyzing on this, especially on the front side. It was literally, it's strong, get me in. And then it would teleport $2 a share, to where if I had 2,700 shares, I'd make $6,000. I could make $6,000 in a blink of an eye. Flip side is I could lose $6,000 in a blink of an eye. And for me, the way I trade, the way I run, which is my own way, is I'm comfortable keeping things at a level that I'm comfortable with. But I don't like taking a whole lot of risk. I rather take a smaller green day and know that I didn't have my heart going 150 BPMs and I wasn't like hyped up some crazy amount, and make a little bit less money than make a ton of money, but then it's like a boom and bust where it's like, you make 18,000 today, but then the next 2 days you lose $5,000 back to back. Next thing you know, you look at your net profit and you're just like, what the? And then it creates those big swings. But today I think drug was that special case. Came out of nowhere. It had the strength. It had the halts up. And the stock that comes out of nowhere is the one that always goes big. All right, guys. So with that, I'm going to head out. We're going to continue the party over on the Discord. Appreciate 47 likes and a 1 new member. What the heck? So the spirit was moving in this class. Okay. So I'm going to head out. Looks like drugs going parabolic. I'm not going to touch it. I'm not. Somebody else can, but not me. I am done here. As proof. Done. I'm going to go. I'm seriously done. I don't care. All right. See you guys.